Da, da, da. Can you hear me now? Guys, I'm so sorry. Hey, let me play some music just to see that we start on a happy note. There I am. Be patient. Yes, I have to figure out what's going on. Good morning, guys. It almost feels like Mercury retrograde. I needed the USB port, and I guess I plugged out the microphone. It's just crazy how many different chords I have over here. How is everybody, guys? Hopefully you all had a good week. It is so freezing cold, guys. It was like minus 46 last night. So I will tell you, I think this is the same thing in Fahrenheit. In to Fahrenheit, let's see what it says. It's minus 51 Fahrenheit. This is how cold it was. Apparently, this is the coldest that gets on this planet. I just opened the door last night to let Tiger out. Mind you, like Tiger loves this weather. It's crazy. He even lies down in the snow. I'm freaked out. I opened this thinking, well, it's not really cold. Like, what is the big deal? And I closed the door about 15 seconds later, studying. My garage lights are flickering like crazy, window panes are freezing, and then a few minutes later, I'm feeling like, why do I feel a sunburn? I really felt like, oh, that's a frostbite in 15 freaking seconds. That's kind of like what it is. So what is right now? Right now it's daytime, so it's warmer, a short time, but I'm going to tell you what's the temperature right now. It feels like minus 40 over here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll tell you what minus 40 is in Fahrenheit. For it's exactly minus 40. Minus 40 is minus 40. So that's that's where we are. Look at that polar little thing over here. So it is freaking unbelievable. Of course, this is the coldest that I have experienced last year when I moved here, or the year before. I think I moved in 2021. My god, that flew really quickly. It was, I was just like freaked out. Toronto is not warm, but it's not in the snow belt, contrary to what most Americans think, that you know that Canada is super cold. Many people don't know that the very bottom of Canada, if you look at the parallel, would be the very top of California, even though the very bottom of Canada is actually colder than actually would be in Toronto, for example. And because Toronto doesn't have that much snow, it's maybe one snow per season. So, and Ontario seems to be good climate. So when I moved here, I was greeted with 43 degrees plus Celsius. That was like 110 degrees in the summer. And and I was like really afraid about the forest burns because here is like all green. You would not believe the air. The snow outside is white all winter, not even a little bit of dirt. So it's so clean. And that's one of the reasons why I moved here. But oh my God, the very first year when we had 2.5 meters snow, how much is that in feet? So that would be 8 feet of snow, like close to 8 feet of snow. I was putting like ski jacket and the coat to even go to the garage. Now short sleeves, no problem. I guess you really get adjusted to it. And it's kind of like weird to say it because last night when I opened the door, I was like, yeah, it's not that cold kind of a thing. It's very, very weird. So I am doing something different to jump in. As you can see, how I'm going to do it, and I'm going to explain how we are going to handle wins, right? So you know how I said kind of like that we win the signs and everything else, which is kind of like getting easier and easier as we go down the road. I'm going to this time around select a category. So it's going to be group, right? Earth, let's say we pull Earth. So it's going to be Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Red first is going to be global reading for the Earth. And then I'm going to go in signs. So first you can guess which element I'm going to read. So that's going to be the very first one. And then which first one of the element will I read? So these are going to be the categories that we can actually win. So I think reading this way, I can really cover whole 12 signs probably today. So that way the other kind of like days kind of like give us a little bit more options to kind of like do fan day, or let's chit chat about different things. Let's have the reading for whatever, you know, who is going to marry who, and kind of like go with that, because I'm here next week and then I'm like the following week, it's a long weekend, I believe, both in Canada and US, and I'm going to take it off. Mind you, like you're locked at home, you cannot go anywhere with this. So I'm going to fold it down, guys. It's your turn right now to guess. You're guessing which element. So I'm going to fold them really, really well. And I'm going to go in a black bag. Air. How is everybody, guys? Do you have, thank you so much for telling me that the microphone was not on. I'm going to even get in a smaller, so that way when I shuffle them, there's like no way to see anything. Okay, Barbie did put her hat in. Barbie is getting ridiculously dangerous. How good she is. So, no wonder, you know, apprentice is surpassing the master on this one. There we go. Oh my gosh. And not only that, you guys are such a smart crowd, and that's freaking awesome. Don't you like the stars? Don't you like the stars? Okay. And you should see, it's also, we have this, the wind blasts, and you can see almost like what you see in these movies about the Arctic, where you can see these banks of snow, like just like dunes in Sahara. Now I know how they are formed with these winds, and like literally the gust of winds that kind of like push you down. Yesterday I watched a cat walking across the street, and he was like blown aside, and the fur was like all standing up. It was just crazy, poor kitty. So let's see, we have earth, air, and earth. So which one am I going to, okay, so I'm getting confused with a whole bunch of things on my things. So let's do it this way, open it, and voila. Let's go this one. This one goes first, and it is air. Kylie. Hello, Australia over here. Do you know what? Like, it's the middle of the night for her, but she guessed it. So now, what are the air signs? We are talking Aquarius. Happy birthday, Aquarius, right now. Then we are talking Gemini, and we are talking Libra. So those signs are going first. Let me put the stamp over here so you can start guessing for the very next one. So usually, and it's kind of really interesting that air came through because, hey, we are like celebrating Aquarius. My birthday is coming. Oh, is it today? Oh my gosh, why did I think it's tomorrow, Safi's birthday? Wait a minute. For some reason, it's weird. She's 10 years old and I have a trouble remembering her birthday. She was born in 2013 in February. I always mixed 4th and the 5th. And how I know which one it is, because her numerology number is 4. And it's just a method of deductions. Is 6 and 2, 8. And yeah, so it is the 5th. So it's correct. So tomorrow Safi will be 10, or where Kylie is, Safi will be already celebrating her her shtick, and she just made it. So let's start. Air. Let's see, air. This is the time for Aquarian transit. So needless to say, generally it should be good with sign being in a sister sign, so that should work. And this is going to be blown away. So let's just do that. Kylie, we first guess the element, and then after the element, you can guess the very first sign in the group. So the group of these elements, so it's one of the three, so it's pretty easy guess. So we have Aquarius, which one I'm going to pull first after, right? Oh, I didn't do that. I have to isolate that. So it's going to be Aquarius, it's going to be Gemini, and it's going to be, what do you call it? Libra. There you go. Just look, my brain doesn't work properly in this cold. So I guess I have to put a different stamp for air right now, because air gets very impatient. If they clicked on the stamp later and just like see me like bubbling, it will be really, really weird. Good morning, Jenny. So air, 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 air. Ooh, air. What's going on? It's the, ooh, look at that. We have the world like turned upside down. We have 9 of Swords, and we have the Sun. And I maybe should put this whole camera a little bit more up because I need a little bit bigger perspective. And now it's going to mess up my little thing that I was actually spending time in the morning fixing, but it is what it is. So we can actually put a little bit more cards over here. So let's get the other deck over here. Yeah, this is freaking weird, isn't it? The glare. And now it's too high. It's way too high. Okay. You see my OCD when it starts to kind of like act up, and this room is really not ideal because it either has way too much sun or no sun, being in the west, right? So, but it is what it is. Here we go. What did I do now? So now I'm going to move it again, and it was actually okay. All right. It will survive. I will survive. Pa 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 pa. And this is not good. My apologies, air. We are going to start this all over again. So this is the world upside down. That's kind of like what the explanation is. You're going to think that you have something right, and it's not going to be right. You're going to be running in a whole bunch of people who will initially be very, let's say, accommodating, but then in the end they're going to end up being a dud, right? So be ready. And this is like a very, very difficult situation for air signs, because air signs like to kind of like agree and move on. So this is kind of like really prominent with this. And so it's going to be a little bit unnerving, I really have to tell you. And this is normal, like especially like, for example, if I talk about Aquarius, who is going to have right post birthday in March, it's usually the most difficult time. People say it's the opposite of your sign, but I find it would be actually the time right after the transition after, because it feels like you just had a party, right? And after a party, what do you want to do? You just want to sleep, right? And just like deal with this, right? So like I just still honestly cannot get used to this overhead kind of like thing, but this table is smaller. I'll see I'll see if I can actually, it's just weird that I don't have enough. Before it was the round table, so I was sitting on this point and it could come on the side really nicely, but this is not doable this time around. So now we have 4 of Wands and we have Knight of Wands. So this is actually pretty neat. And let me see, the third deck over here is so we have 7 of Fire here. Let's get some more. We have the Moon. And then we have a 9 of Sky. Look at that. It is some kind of repeat over here. So, all right, air. It's going to be very, let's say, airy, but it's not going to be the air that we are going to necessarily like very much. So March is going to be really interesting, and I will tell you why this is. It's actually really not bad because we have the Sun and the Moon, and Sun doesn't matter whether it's reversed or not reversed because it's extremely positive either way. In fact, I might even like it a little bit more when it is reversed, because I always, when I meditated on that, it was always, I'm sitting right in the sun, right? And this can be scorching, or how would I feel if, you know, like there is a nice beautiful sunset that I'm looking at, which would be more or less this reverse. So the reverse is always associated to me with something really exciting, such as, you know, like we are starting a new day and we are looking at the dawn and like we are getting ready for work, right? Or like, I mean, oh, now I'm kind of like chilling and relaxing and I want to do what I want. So it's just kind of like off work hours, where this is upright really good, where you really want to shine and dominate work. So it depends which age you are, like where you are in life. This might be really appealing to you. For me, I'm getting on the other side, and I really wanted things to be more chill, more slow, more reasonable, without idiots about me, etc., etc. So, needless to say, let me point out that we have 3 major arcana for air signs. We have the World, we have the Sun, both reversed, and we have the Moon, which is not a great card when it's upright. But I think this Moon is pretty much giving me direction about kind of like how we are going to have the flavor of basically March. So the Sun and the Moon, when they appear together in a reading, this means something gorgeous, something beautiful. This is like we have everything, right? So it's the process that is kind of like really flowing. Except that I'm going to say that if you really have to think about the most productive or the luckiest period in the month of March, they will be, as I said, these early mornings, maybe up to 9 or 10 o'clock, and then they're going to be kind of like mid-afternoons. So let's say 4:30 until later, until we kind of like get the sunset. That is going to be that, but it also the entire night, especially the moon transition. And since we have the full moon in Leo coming up, is it tonight or tomorrow? I think this is going to be a very, very strong period. There's like something we are carving right now. So there is like something over here that is really telling me that maybe now, if you're listening to this in early February when I'm reading this, it's maybe also good that you check the February ones, because this is really telling me that something didn't really turn. There was like an opportunity in February to make a difference, to remove some karmic kind of like boundaries or problems, but it didn't happen. And in fact, it created a whole bunch of, like with the repetition of 9 of Swords, this is creating a whole bunch of nightmares, or when I see that in my own reading, that means financial problems. And generally, I'm really good with my bills, and I'm like, What do you mean financial problems? What financial problems? And then next thing I know, I forgot to pay a credit card bill because I just like put it aside and I said, I'll do it when I get home. And then you forget, kind of a thing, right? So this kind of like stuff can really kind of like sneak up on you, right? So this is really important to kind of like really think about it, that this is really repeating over here, right? Because especially when they come combining with Nine of Wands, because this is really telling me that there are like some kind of anxieties, there's some kind of fears, there's like some kind of like impatience. Like it's kind of like, you know, my cousin Winnie, do you remember that movie when she was like knocking with her heel, kind of like, I'm still waiting, I'm still waiting, as it is kind of like really important to really think about it, right? So like personality that usually is described with Nine of Wands is a warrior. If you remember, I kind of like labeled this card wash machine brain. Like we have been all there, like that foggy brain and spinning in circles. Oh, I want to do that. Oh yeah, I cannot do it because of that. I want to do that. Oh, I cannot do it. It just always, it goes up and down kind of a thing, right? So this gives tendency for people being combative, like we have the Seven of Fire, which is kind of like, pardon me, I don't give a shit anymore, kind of like not necessarily right in your face, but sort of like defending your own turf. And be very careful about engaging in a negative self-talk. It's going to be very interesting because things are going to switch in March. So I feel this as cleaning the stuff. You know, like when you clean the house, how just before it's really really nice and put together, it's everything is out there, the boxes, everything that you kind of like put on the spot that now you're discarding in the garbage is like there, and it just like feels that you're overwhelmed. And then moments later, it's like ta-da moment, everything smells light, everything is like shiny. And by the way, I wish that you can smell this beautiful smell. I got a present for Christmas from a client and a friend actually, and she got me one of those. I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if they're pronounced sage or sage. It's the company that actually does this aromatic kind of things, and they have essential oil that is called liquid sunshine. Oh boy, that really feels really really good. So the entire place smells like that citrusy and uplifting, and it's really really good. So air, go back to you. So what is basically happening here? We are going to turn things around. So it's going to be a big inner battle, that what is right and what is wrong. And this is like really emphasizing we are going to have a lots of worst case scenarios going through our head, but each time we have that, we are going to be landing on our feet. Four of Wands, Knight of Wands, and the Sun, it's telling me things are going to be okay, right? Needless to say, it's going to feel like hardship getting there. And we are tired of hardship, especially Aquarians who have been going under the Saturn's foot. But as I said, things in March are actually turning around, and I can see that very, very clearly, right? Four of Wands is definitely talking about accomplishment. It's not the finality, it's not the final goal, but it is what it is, right? So now we are going to go into the individual signs, and I haven't prepared it, so I'm going to just quickly write it down here. So I'm going to put here Aqua, and then who else? We have Gemini. So I have Aquarius and Gemini, and then I have Libra. So I have to do it for all. I wish I was thinking about that. Forgot it. So Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. So let's see what additional things to this we can have. So two came out. So okay, no, I wanted the ones that drop. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay, we have the very first one, Let's see who is the winner. The winner is Barbie and Lorna. I'm going to put you down here, Barbie and Lorna. Good job. That's going to be in the end. Barbie and Lorna. So Gemini goes first. So, my dear Gemini, so let's see what additional knowledge we can get over here. So, I am going to get a different deck for this, so I can give you more information about that. So, let's do this. And it's already coming out. It's telling us, look at this, it's lighting up. Your cards are all out. Everything came out. You got 8 of Pentacles reversed. You got, let me see, you got 9 of Wands, which came over this 9 to actually communicate. Ooh, there is the Hierophant, there is the Empress, and there is like the 10 of Pentacles. So, this is telling me that something might appear to be, let's call it, sloppy, right? You're not going to, I see that you're going to have less of those worry-like thoughts, but you're going to have feeling that you're not accomplishing things, right? Like, because the 9s are repeating for you, and this is also 8 and 10, so kind of like on average they would also make 9, right? So there is like a things that are slipping through your fingers. You're trying to kind of like get somewhere, you're trying to go in a good direction, and things are just really not happening that way, right? And so this is kind of like something that it feels like, oh my gosh, why? Because you're generally very capable. You can accomplish your things really fast, especially if they are dealing with things that matter to you, which will be writing, which will be communicating ideas, which will be making your point. And it almost like it's going to feel for you that you're kind of like spinning in all directions and that you're not getting anywhere. And this is not going to be very exciting for you, right? But check it out, because of this, and I think this is really clearly linking to all of these 9s and warnings that we had, right? But look, when I told you we are turning things around, is because Sun is 19 and 1 and 9 is 10. So there is like this 1 that is really happening, and we have the 10 over here repeating as well. So this is really interesting. So the Hierophant reversed. So what is Hierophant? Hierophant is doing things in a very classical way, sort of like you say what I say, right? And so the guy smoking and telling you, the doctor is smoking and telling you not to smoke. Yeah, sure, it's probably a good idea, but then why you're not following your own advice, right? So this is kind of like a thing that you are not taking advice from anybody who you do not consider authority yourself. And it's not going to be for you somebody who is classical. Maybe for everybody else, Stephen Hawking is the best physicist. No, you find somebody who is completely obscure, you're going with that. So this is kind of like going outside of the box. You're kind of like looking at things in a really different way. The Empress is also a very feminine principle. So if you are a woman, you're going to really find that, you know, you're feeling comfort at your home with your family. This also signifies something really good in terms of putting things together. So even though I really have to tell you that the month is going to start very hairy, something has to happen in a very non-conventional way, my dear Gemini, right? 9 of Wands is talking about a serious warrior, because look at the wands that we have over here, right? So the warrior is the one who was trying, and he went through 1 and went to 2 and went to 3. So 1 was like, oh, you know, I used to have good ideas. Let me kind of like try to work with these 2 ideas. And 2 is like, which direction do I go? And number 3, you're trying this. Number 4, which we have over here, you're succeeding. There is a milestone. There is a promise of that. And number 5, now you're being challenged. Now you have a competition. Now like the other people want to either steal your idea or steal your kind of like wind. and then you have a 6, right? And then you really win and you show them, right? And then you have 7, which we have over here, where people now feel like, oh, well, I could have done it. Why did you do that? And you are telling them, like, you know what? Like, why didn't you do it? I did it, right? So that would be 7. In the 8, it's kind of like feeling, okay, I am in the zone. I can really do it, right? And then you get to the stage of 9 and you're just feeling tired. You're feeling like things are going up and down and up and down and up and down. I'm really, really tired of that, right? But you're saying to yourself, you know what? I went too far. I'm not giving it up now. And then because of that consistency, there's like a tada. So it's almost like something is going to happen so bad that you're going to think that you're losing something or you're losing your own shit, right? But you're going to succeed. I have to tell you that successful is going to come more to women than to men. It might be a little bit immoral because the Hierophant reversed can also suggest a slight bit of immorality. Or alternatively, that can represent that you have a person who is kind of like behaving this way, who is kind of like hitting you under the belt kind of a thing, right? So that is really important to kind of like realize, right? It also could feel that you're really constrained with the structure and with the rules, and definitely you're tired of tradition. So if you guys are, for example, divorcing, then these 2 cards would actually indicate a divorce taking place back then. If you guys are having issues at work, then it would signify March is going to be the end of this work. So you really need to start looking for it, because you will get something else really, really quick, and you're going to be very happy about that. It feels to me that you're here forced to do something that you don't feel you should be doing. It's almost like something against your best kind of like judgment. But, you know, like it's like what they call it, somebody's ruling with an iron fist, forcing other to do it my way, right? So I really think, you know, that somebody is not giving you much option over here. But nonetheless, you're coming up on the top. So I don't know, like what I'm envisioning here when it can happen is like when the pupil challenges a teacher, right? Oh, I want to do it this way. Yeah, maybe this works, but right now we are going to do this kind of a thing. Or you have the different views. If you have a lawsuit with the lawyer and they say we want to do it this way, so oh my gosh, that's going to cost me, no. And they say, okay, you know what, take it or leave it. And then you almost like feels you're forced, and actually you end up doing a good thing by listening to that authority, if you wish. So that's really, really interesting. So that's it. Howdy, creative girl. How are you? So the next one, we are not guessing, guys, because it's too freaking easy. Come on. You're going to guess on the next groups of signs, but you can guess it. I'm not giving you cards for that. I just want to see that we are fine-tuning our abilities. So the next one between the 2 that I have, let's go the right one. It's going to be Libra. You see, Barbie, like I did I not tell you, she is freaking smoking hot. Like she can guess like anything. So let me just put the stamp for Libra. So my dear Libra is going next. Oops, I touched it. I was not supposed to touch it. This is going to mess my screen here, I think, in a minute. So let's do Libra. That's correct. You can guys even guess the next element. So Libra. So we have 3 of Wands. This is also falling on the moon. Look at that. It's very similar. This kind of like fell in between these 2 nines. But this is also talking about the structure and traditions. We had there for Gemini 8 of Pentacles. Here we have a 7 of Pentacles. And we also have 7 of Cups. Okay, let's go, Libra. So in addition to what I was explaining for the element, right? So how is this now expanding into your own sign? So these are very, very good cards. Like there's like something that you have developed over the years, because the World card indicates something's happening right now, but it also indicates that something could have been going on for a long time. And that long time could be because we have all 4 elements over here, right? could be 21 years, it could be 21 months, it could be 21 like weeks, but I think that's on the shorter kind of like end of the spectrum. So it's a long process of something that we needed to conquer that actually was giving us opportunity in February, but we really haven't, and and it's for some reason giving us another kind of like ability to kind of like redo it. So that is really, really important, right? So what do we have over here? So we have really interesting combinations. So now we have like 2 sevens, which is also adding to this 7, which is like 7 of fire. So which one is missing? The missing one is the 7 of air. So it's almost like more important to look at the one missing. So what is the 7 of swords card? The 7 of swords card is going to show a guy who is stealing at night somebody, right, from somebody. So it is like one of those tricky cards which can talk about a trickster, which can talk about somebody doing things behind your back. So I don't know, Libra, did somebody betray you? Because that kind of like would be my first thought when I kind of like see this of some sort, right? Did somebody kind of like took something away from you which you felt like you earned, you deserved, that you started something with this person in a very, very good will, and something really ended up, you know, like, I mean, face down kind of a thing, right? So maybe things are done in secret, hoping that, you know, it's not going to be discovered if you wish, but something goes off, right? So like it will be that proverbial thief who goes in somebody's house and everything works, and then alarm goes on and all the lights, all the police is there, that kind of stuff, right? So it is like some kind of like deception, and it could have been the mate or the family of some sort, right? So that missing card is usually telling that you are kind of like trying to sneak away from a particular situation that is really not working for you anymore. And I think you thought you succeeded, and the situation still keeps on going, and you're like, when is this movie going to end? How am I going to do that, right? And this is also to me indicating some kind of desire that you want a limited amount of people around you, right? And that limited amount of people are tried and true kind of like people that have to go. You are actually putting your finances back in order over here, and you're like starting to dream. However, 7 of Cups always warns a little bit, because 7 of Cups, as you can see, they're like, oh, what is the door number 1? What is the door number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So here's a mask. This is like some kind of secretive thing. It's like a bad boy, somebody who we don't know, which will be also your Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is somebody so interesting that you're forgiving them everything, even the fact that they don't show up on a date and stuff, because when you're with them, it's like so much fun. So that will be like a summer romance of some sort, except this is in March, right? So then you have, you know, like some miracles, then you have, you know, like real estate, then you have another person, and then like you're treating yourself. So then there is a health, there is a victory. So each of us basically defines success in a different way, right? I was really surprised when I was like studying, right, business. Like one of the first classes, they wanted to kind of like see what the definition of business is, which is really not fair, because if you're studying business, in business definition of success is develop brand and money, right? And this is weird because I had to do that for work, but in my personal opinion, success is just being a nice person and being a kind person, and I really wish that I can be 100% of the time that person, right? So here, this is like that motivation to go in all directions, sometimes being torn. So that could be some kind of like financial windfall for you. It could be some kind of inheritance as well for you, Libra. And it will be something that, you know, it's not a great amount of money, but it's enough for you to actually can make some plans, or these are actually possibly even investments. So there you go. So the last one then means is Aquarius, right? So here it is. So this will be the air signs completed. So Aquarius, happy birthday. Let me put Aqua. Is the stamp. Happy birthday, Aquarius. When the moon is in the 7th house, which is right now, right? Let's do it. every single time. Look at this. We have the Wheel of Fortune. It's a karma card. It's also karma card reversed. Really interesting. So it's reversed, but it's also showing up with this one. So I know exactly what it's really telling me. So happy birthday to us, because it's February, but not in March if you're listening to this in March. So then this one, ooh, look at that. We have the Six of Pentacles and Two of Wands. And one more. I want one more. I want what? This one wanted to come out. And this one is Temperance. So, what do I see here? Now, this is really a little bit more complex. So, these two came first. So, Wheel of Fortune, when it reverses, is kind of like the same as the world. It feels like we are the opposite of luck, that everything we do and we can do everything properly, it still doesn't end up properly for us, and it can be very unnerving, and it's not something that we it just like feels like we are just, like that Sisyphus. He is walking on top of that mountain, and he comes close, and the big stone he's like rolling toward the top, it just like rolls over him and goes down. It's weird. I saw this movie. It was called, oh, what was it called last night? Irrational Man with Joaquin Phoenix, and I really like him because very intense. Obviously Scorpio, so just like another actor I love is Leonardo DiCaprio, also Scorpio. I like that they put 100% in their thing, and it's with Emma Stone. It was really interesting story, right? So you are going to either love it or you're going to be bored. For me, I kind of like the flavor of the movie. So he is a philosophy professor at university, and he has like these new rebellious ideas that are really appealing to the students, right? To kind of like expand their minds. But he is also like deeply kind of like confused and a weirdo. So that is really interesting, right? So oh, creative guru, happy birthday to your son. So when I see something like this showing up, it's pretty much like that. It is like you put a key in a lock and you know it should be opening, but it's not opening, right? So why is it not opening? Maybe you're carrying the groceries and you're just putting too much kind of like effort in it, so it's just maybe bending in it. So that to be like very, very simplistic explanation. So what is this telling me? It's telling me that you're trying too much, my dear Aquarius. You're trying too much, and you're putting too much on your plate, and there are things that you are not privy to. There are things that you don't know, and yet, this is what is happening, right? Like you feel burdened. You definitely feel burdened. I really like Ten of Wands reversed because it basically comes to this, you know what? I'm overwhelmed. It's admission. Like in psychology, you have to admit where you stand in order to resolve it. And then understanding, okay, I wanted to exercise every day. I wanted to do this every day, but it's not happening. So can I do maybe 5 minutes? Can I do something that is doable and drop everything else and all these big motions and see how it goes? Kind of a thing, right? So that's, I think, that is that. And that is kind of like dealing with this anxiety and feeling like very jittery about everything, right? So the Six of Pentacles, it's like one of these 3 cards or 2 cards sometimes with a scale. So it feels like that you're feeling that somebody is taking away from you, that you are being taken advantage of. But again, just in a sync with the general air reading, it's really telling me that you are really quickly resolving it. Like we are air signs are receiving punches, but we are really recovering really quickly. We are not knocked out with this kind of like process, but at the same time we are like, how much longer is this going to take? Like these adjustments. If you remember, I was adjusting my camera initially. I said, oh boy, that is how the month is going to be. Like, yeah, it's going to go well, then it's not going to. It's going to go well, it's not going to. That's exactly it. So the Temperance, which kind of like was weird, it first came up and then it came down. So I will interpret it both ways. So Temperance means, so both can work at the same time. So in the upright situation, the Temperance comes after death. So death is removal, severing of something, and it's basically giving us an option. Do you need to kind of like leave this project and move here? Otherwise, you're just, distracting yourself, and it's kind of like putting you back on a path why you're here and what you need to accomplish. But sometimes we know better, right? So I am a tarot reader. I kind of like go out on a date and the cards go, holy smoke, don't do it, like Wheel of Fortune reverse comes out or something, or disaster, Seven of Swords, and I still go. And then of course that happens. So why don't you listen to your intuition, right? So Temperance is really talking about that, right? That after kind of like some hardship that we kind of like either listen or we didn't listen, something is going kind of like on the top over here, right? So Temperance is like saying you can actually mix two very different things and that can actually work out. That will be upright. And reversed, it will be, hey, you know, realizing what just doesn't work and what you really don't want to mix. So it's kind of like children and, well, vicious dogs are not mixing kind of a thing. That can exist in the same space as, okay, you know, the flour and I don't know, like, I mean, air makes very two elements that you would not think it mixed. But anybody who ever tried to bake the cake knows that you have to put this air in. Like my banana bread was just splattered because I put my mixer on too high and it just like didn't create that air which is needed for that raise. So Aquarians, the balance is going to be name of the day. It's going to be very much feeling one day is up, another one is down. But as I said initially, March is going to be big turnaround. The biggest turnaround for all signs in zodiac is going to be for Aquarius, because Aquarius is telling Saturn, thank you. I have learned hard lessons. We are humbled to the point we didn't realize. We started to feel old. We started to feel dilapidated, and that's basically the Saturn. And we are giving the Saturn, I believe it goes to Pisces right now, off you go. It's going to be really teaching you great life lessons, and we're so happy it's not here with us anymore, kind of a thing, right? It always actually propels you on the next level, but it's always so hard. And I think this is why getting this lightness, that it just like feels like, you know, like when you see the dogs or horses running and then it's the gate and then you open the gate and go whew. That is what is happening at the end of the month for Aquarians. So happy post-birthday month. It's don't give up, and you're going to be really, really feisty, and I am so happy for you. So let's go next element, guys. So what do you think about this new format? I don't know if I need to keep it. I don't need to keep it. I just wanted to try it. I think it can give a little bit more explanation, and then people also can actually hear some more of their elements, not only the sign that I'm reading. Oh, hello Andy, she is there. So good morning. So Kylie is guessing Earth over there. So update, what are we doing? I'm starting to read element first. We just finished air. And then after the element, I'm reading individual signs. So right now we have inside, we have fire, we have water, and earth. So you guys can go ahead and guess it. And then you can guess right after that to which sign from that element will I read first. Oh my gosh, Andy, I was just telling everybody how cold it is, and it's like wind gusts. It's weird. Like this is the coldest ever. I think it's the coldest that exists on the planet. So Andy is a neighbor. So how is that, right? So let's see. So what do we have? We have guesses. We have earth, we have fire, earth, Barbie said fire. Lorna likes this new format. Kelsey, water, Richard, Jenny, fire. And let me see. What? Kelsey, good for you. Look at you. So Kelsey, see, this is going against the air, Kelsey. I'm just writing you down for your card in the end. So let's do water. So before I start, so I'm ready for the second part, I'm going to make these little tags because I can use this one. So I need a 3. Let's do it this way. So we can, in water, we'll have Pisces. And this is going to be happy birthdays to Pisces because March is basically their sign. So I'm going to put it Pisces. Then we have after Pisces, Cancer. And then we have Scorpio. So anybody who has a sign, a sun sign or ascendant or moon sign needs to look into that. But I really have to tell you the way I interpret astrology. I always look also inner planets. So if you have a Mercury or Venus, because that's really close to us, or Mars in the signs, that also will be very, very important. So here they are, the mini-me's for this route, so we can see. And let's go water here. So how are you doing, Andy? You have heat pumps, are they working? So water. We are having the devil coming out. The devil in you. Yeah. Ooh, Andy, I told you, like, it's probably, this is something that will always work for you. Good stuff. So look at that. So you guys have the devil reversed, the knave of swords, the page of swords, but then we have the fool, then we have the 8 of cups and 7 of cups. Okay, let's go. Next one. Oops. Oof. We have the death and queen of cups over here. And which one? I didn't shuffle this one. But I think that's what she did, Barbie. Ika did get Pisces, which will be the very first one after I finish this reading, right? Yeah, and you know, like my garage lights, and I told everybody they were flicking like crazy. They're going like this, right? They're like the, what do you call it, the dust to down, and they were flickering like crazy. I think I have to kind of like get courage to go to my garage and turn it off, because this is just crazy. So water, let's see what we have here. So the devil reversed, page of swords reversed. This one is like somebody really, really mouthy, somebody who is basically overriding everything you're trying to do, because the devil reversed also talks about somebody is just doesn't care what you want. They're telling you what needs to be done. They're completely discarding your own kind of like wants. And so this is kind of like it can really work badly on our self-esteem when kind of like we see something like that, right? It represents being trapped by things, because look at these two cards are really connecting actually, right? And also the tower didn't come through, but I will not be surprised that it actually comes in for the individual signs. And this is like way too high over here. I'm just saying that I have to pull it down a little bit. So let's do this. You guys maybe are dealing with, let's say, I don't know, unhealthy lifestyle, or maybe you have some kind of like dependency or dependent relationship where somebody can come across as abusive and unreasonable kind of a thing, right? Maybe, you know, there is like some addiction here that we are talking about, and that addiction, I already have to tell you, probably would be alcohol that I see over here. Barbie mentioned like, I mean, pot is off the shelves over there. There are like so many pot stores in Canada, you would not believe it. Like, it's almost like there's nothing else that exists kind of a thing, right? You know, like, but this is really talking about needing to have awareness. Isn't this the cutest thing? This is literally how it looks here today. Everything is frozen, and luckily the kitty cat is inside, but she's just looking at death outside, and she would not be able to get anything out. But look at how really appropriate for the water signs. We're also getting this really warm and caring Queen of Cups. You guys are also getting a 9 of Sky, which is the proverbial 9 of Wands. I was going to great length explaining that for air, because they got 2 of these cards, which is that, what they call it, wash machine brain. You keep redoing things, you keep doing things all over and over, you are finding no exit. It's insomnia that is connected. But look at it, you have the Sky King, and then you have the floating cat or the hangman, which is a Neptune principle, which also is very, very water. So look at this. Water, 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 water. So needless to say, this is how it works when your sister's sign is going through the sun sign. So because March, mostly first 3 weeks, is going through, but you know how I read. I read basically transition. So this is for the Pisces transition, even though I put March, because people will look weirdly. Oh, you're having reading from February 20th to March 20th, right? That's kind of like the comments I was getting. So this is simpler, but this is really reading Pisces transition, and I'm seeing that here. So if you haven't succumbed, guys, already to some kind of like bad habits or addictions, be very careful about opening yourself to these temptations, because you also have the death reversed, and you also have the nine of sky reversed. So these are kind of like warning cards, where the rest is more or less easy breezy. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana, as I told you, which is a lot, right? From just such a small read, right? So I would say here it would be really good for you to kind of like practice meditation or Buddhism. It's kind of like the detachment, and that you can say yourself, this too shall pass. It seems like this is the name of a day for March, because we all signs are getting this big shift, because Saturn is getting out of Aquarius, and that really affects all of us profoundly. Why? Because Aquarius is a fixed sign and it holds a structure. So just think about that one leg of the table is removed, right? It's not going to be the same anymore. It cannot exist without it, right? So now moving it and shifting into something very fluid, and Pisces kind of goes in all direction, it's going to be a little bit different for most of us, right? So also when you have the death, for example, reverse, which is that is the card of transformation, and it's so weird that we kind of connect the death with some really mean and weird things happening, but really death should be something to look forward. All these people who have this like NDE experiences, they're not willing to die, because they're realizing this is basically a journey they have paid to be on, but at the same time they're feeling completely really different about this whole reminder, like you're here for a reason kind of a thing, right? So this is like again that card of transformation and a new life, and typically it shows that we really need to start over, completely over, or need to let go of the past. So when it's reversed, it reflects that we are on the verge of major change, right? But for some reason you are resisting making this change, you're not willing to risk, you're kind of like reluctant to let go of some past. So there is like some connection. So there's something you're holding on, there's like something you kind of like really want to kind of like accomplish. It's kind of like sitting on two chairs kind of like situation. So assess the way in which you're approaching change. You might find that you are halting something, that you're in your own way, right? Get out of your own way. So what is going to be really important is to accept the new. Water signs don't accept change easily. Water moves slower, but it's like very powerful when it moves, right? It can move mountains, it can create ridiculous changes, right? But it is the time. Look at this, like it's telling me maybe somebody's going to be really harsh. Maybe somebody's going to tell you, you always talk about it and you never do it. And like, especially if you fix water sign like Scorpio, you'll go, oh my God, this is true, right? This is true. Like they called me on it, and they are really, really true, right? So I really, really think, guys, that there's going to be something about this new opportunity. Mind you, this can be for some of you new opportunity, and for others of you, you might put your life on hold. So literally it's going to be how you handle the entry of this month, which is basically the period from the end of February, February 20th to February 28th. It's going to be really crucial. So kind of like keep your eyes open, be alert, try to do new things, or you'll have to deal with this kind of like Neptune principle, which is, he's about perspective that needs to be readjusted. So hence this movement on cannot change. So I really have to say that some earth signs are going to leave the situation, even though to the others And this is maybe why it's problematic to leave, right? Like this is the comfort. You are fully aware of who you are, how you want to be. And then you're asking yourself, so then if I'm so great, if everything is like so great for me, why do I have this anxiety? Why do I have this like weird panic attacks kind of a thing, right? And then you have the Sky King, which can be a judge, can be kind of like making the right thing, right? And this is going to be the key. You are deciding something for yourself, or you're asking for a very impartial opinion, a mentor, or something like that, right? Because here, this Eight of Cups indicates leaving. Look at the comfort of your home and everything is like organized, but you're still feeling something else. But actually, you're ending up behind. So I really think this is like really showing me duality, because that's why the readings, the longer the reading you can get, the better for you, because I check and double check and triple check, and then you really know what is going on. In this case, it's really cute. It's almost like setting the two paths in the very beginning, and it's kind of like showing us how they are going to revolve. So even if I take them this way, but I cannot take them this way because I see how they can kind of like cross, no matter which one you take. So it's going to be two type of water signs. One type of water sign is going to be the ones that will dust off and move forward. So if you are kind of like that type of a sign who just wants to push things ahead, check the air reading, because they also have this anxiety, and I did give how to really deal with this. However, there's going to be another one also that is going to look for on the outside. You're going to look that other people comfort you, that other people, counsel you, and you're going to feel altogether a little bit stuck in the situation. So for you, it's not going to be that kind of awakening, which doesn't mean it's going to be bad either, right? Because even for this kind of like streak over here, you're just going to kind of like have to play in this particular scenario for a little bit longer until you're ready to kind of like make this jump. Because Fool is like always it, like take this new opportunity, take something new. It is giving you, it's somebody's telling you, you want to pay $10,000 for this lottery ticket, and you're saying, are you nuts? I'm not doing it. Absolutely, get away from me, kind of a thing, right? Wouldn't this be like, 99.999%? But you know what? Like, this ticket wins, and then you're going, oh, I could have had 100 millions right now. It would be nothing. So that's all perspective. It's the paradigm shift that can actually really happen, right? So Fool, when it's upright, it's really talk about, there's like something unforgettable and unconventional. It could be also challenging, right? It could be maybe dealing with somebody who is very different from you, who's maybe either economical or social or even cultural background is really different, right? It also can represent somebody who I guess has an age difference, either up or down, so either much younger or much older than you. So whatever the difference are, this person is opening your eyes, and this person is opening your eyes. So just imagine this is that air in your reading, and this is this air, right? So somebody's saying this, and you're saying, oh, really? I was just having my coffee, and you're telling me about disasters in the world, because that's the conflict of the ideas, right? But nonetheless, like, be open to it, because it might happen. Alrighty, so let's go. So now we are going to go. We have the guesses. Ekat said Pisces. Kylie said Scorpio. Barbie said Cancer. So you can still, guys, guess it until oh, the first one jumped. So until I open it, and the first one is going to be Ekat. Oh, she called it. Good job, Ekat. Is going to Pisces, and I'm going to put Ekat here. I like Ekats. She's an electronic cat, right? So that's kind of neat. So Pisces, let's start this. All right, Pisces. Ooh, we are getting stuff here. Pisces we need really, really additional reading to this, because look at this. 9 of Swords is repeating over here. Then we have the Emperor, And Emperor and Death is the same vibration. So when you have this like tree of life in Kabbalah, right, you have to traverse through different points. So this is almost like, so this will be the fashion in the 70s, and this will be the fashion in, let's say, 2010, where we have the same style, but they're still kind of different and different lessons to learn, right? So then we have like 201s over here, and we have a 701s, which can talk about keeping where you are, keeping your spot. Look at this. We have the repetition of the devil as well. We have the King of Rods, and we have a Queen of Rods. Okay, so Pisces, first of all, happy birthday to you. And so this was like more kind of global for all Earth, because generally we connect on the element. And now let's see, because you just really wanted to speak quite a bit. So first of all, and notable to me is that we have the devil, we have the King of Rods and Queen of Swords, and I think that's some couple. And it could be a couple that is feuding, it could be the couple that is divorced, because we also have the Hangman over here, and Hangman talks about don't really step into the situation, just observe it, just look from the side, and just see how you emotionally feel, how you're emotionally positioning yourself to it. And that is going to be very important to kind of like deal with this, right? So that could be somebody who is really kind of like that fly, in your champagne kind of a thing, that really kind of like messes something really, really good. But nonetheless, I really have to say it's really interesting that we have the Emperor and Death kind of like together, and we have the Devil. So the devil here is upright. So it kind of like gives us a little bit different thing. As I said, just because one is up and one is down, it doesn't mean that it cannot hold both truths at the same time. Because upright devil is bondage, addiction, sexuality, being very materialistic, right? Not really caring about the person kind of freezing on the street. And the reversed one would be, I don't know, breaking free and power is reclaimed and detachment. But it also could mean even worse, that you are really not completely aware of what's going on, and you really need to wake up, which I think it was the case here, because somebody is really waking you up harshly. So it would be like, for example, as I said, I do see alcohol for some of you, so be very careful of driving, because that can indicate, a car accident of some sort, and then a cop comes and gives you really what you need to hear, or could be dead people, because that's why we have death here. So be very, very careful about that. I should have written that. Probably I'm going to write it in. I don't want to write it. Like, imagine if I write this like note on my in my kind of like pin timings, and like a death could be here. That's going to look weird. So maybe I should just escape it. This for you reminds me of that famous quote by who was that? Eleanor Roosevelt, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. No one can kind of make you feel inferior unless you let them, right? Or without your consent. So hence, don't blame other people. You can do things yourself. You're absolutely capable. Yes, you might feel like your hands are tied, because look at it. This is a battle, and this is like, oh, I really cannot do it because. Did you ever meet people like that in life? You tell them, like I've seen it in coaching a lots of times. If you want me to help you, I don't know, create a better financial life. We have to establish a budget. We have to stick to it. We have to eliminate the debt. Yeah, but I cannot give up my nails. I can't. See, and then things are going to perpetuate if you're not willing to do the change. And this is kind of like what I'm seeing here. I also see that it could be some, love in the air for you as well, even though I think this could be one of these people, could be your partner, and they might be dealing with their partner, and hence it's not a fun situation to start with, right? So that's something that can kind of like work. But you're in control here, more or less. The Emperor is like that strong father figure in tarot, right? He is very strategic, he's very systematic, he's very assertive, and this is assertiveness here as well. So hence, what happened? You have also Queen of Cups, which is like the gentle and understanding, and it could be you. So is somebody rubbing you wrong way? You just want it your way and no other way? That can indicate that as well, right? So maybe you feel dominated because the emperor might not be you. It could be somebody who is telling you what to do and you're kind of like resenting it, right? Because ultimately you need to understand that there's like somebody who's trying to ensure that everybody around him is being taken care of, and he does it by exercising that control. He needs to know what, where, how, and in order to do that, right, he kind of like sometimes can frustrate people around him, which I see here. You'll be rebelling, you'll be saying, yeah, you know what, I want something else and this is what I want, and then you're going to get stuck in that. So what is the way out for you guys? It's really expressing love. 8 of Wands is like maybe short trips, it's a burst of activity of some sort. And it's really interesting because it almost feels for me that you'll be observing somebody. I'm just telling you, do not step into that, because you're going to have so many opportunities and so many choices this month, and it just like feels like, you know, like you already have the sign that is like two fishes swimming in the opposite direction. So this is sometimes like finding Nemo is a problem, right? So I think it's really, really important that you kind of like stay focused, even if this means being stuck. Even when you're stuck, you need to think how to get out. So it's going to sometimes take taking a 2 steps back and moving forward in order to get somewhere. It's going to be the month of temptation. I have to really tell you this. It's going to be very, very interesting. But Pisces, ultimately, as I said, this is also your card that will be showing this Neptune. It would show like this very dreamy, very kind of like whispery kind of like a thing. If you guys ever dealt with Pisces, they're always very wispy and you really never know where you are, right? And this is kind of like what you want, but it's kind of weird. It's almost being pushed in a different direction over here. So let's see. Electrocat. Oh, I see. Electrocat. That's awesome. So there is the guesses that you guys are getting. So let's grab this one. This is not for winning, but this is just to do it. So Barbie, yay, and Andy also jumped in. So I might make the exception and give it to Andy as well. Additional card might. You need to stick around and raise your hand. So we are doing Scorpio here, and so guys, I had a dream about my ex-husband, and it takes on that. So he was in my dream, and it's like decades after divorce, right? And he was telling me, well, that he wants to be with me, and I was like, no, you know, we left this in the past. He was very persistent to the point that I said, okay, right? And then what happened, because I love him because he was cheating, right? And so in the dream, I think I went to the bathroom and I came out, and there he was flirting with this woman. And I said to myself, which part I didn't understand the first time around, right? So I have no idea how he came to my dreams. It was just freaking weird. So any takes on this one, Lou, let me know. He's a Cancer. So let's do it. Scorpio. It is 111 here, Barbie. Scorpio. So we have, look at that, 9 of Swords and 8 of Swords, but also the Fool. Okay, so you see, fixed sign. Scorpio are the fixed sign of the water, which means that you are the deepest water. You're the biggest water. You are feeling the most. But, you know, when you move with great intensity, but it's really hard to get you to move. You really get to be set in your way, right? So let me just see. So Oh, the error in sending messages? That's weird because I had errors. It's Mercury retrograde is over, but it just like really feels like it, no? So, what do we have here? I want one more. I don't know why, but I feel that I want one more. Okay, Ace of Pentacles is this way. So, it seems to me, guys, that you're planning something. It looks like to me that that planning could be something financial, or it could be something that is long term, but it's not fully, let's say, baked idea, right? It's just pretty much like it's the flavor of the month. Everybody's going to go one step ahead, two steps behind. It's going to feel a little bit awkward, right? And how we kind of like address the situation. So you should have read, like, the introduction for the entire water to give you a little bit more feelings, more feeling about it. Interestingly enough, not a single water came through over here, right? So you have the grounded elements over here, then you have air. So air and earth are sort of like in balance, right? They're necessarily not crazy about each other, but they are not disliking each other. It can be a really good combination for strategic alliances, right? Ace of Pentacles is one of the key cards here, which is generally talking about the long term and some new foundations or something, right? So Knight of Pentacles, it can talk about friends of some sort, and maybe there was like some issue that has been kind of like aroused, or maybe um, it's a time to simply kind of like let go, right? When it kind of like reverses, right? So this is a person who is sometimes really stuck in a routine, and I don't know, like, I mean, this could be you, this queen of cups over here, whether you're male or female, and this could be just a partner who is just simply keep being repetitive, and the life is becoming really mundane and boring. So instead of, if this is a relationship, and instead of working on the relationship, you're just looking out, and maybe even looking for the different partner, somebody who is kind of like going to enthuse you because you're looking for the inspiration, you're looking for the muse, you're looking for that somebody who is going to wake you up. But the moment when you seek out, you're feeling guilty, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling this is not going to go ahead, right? That's this torches, Eight of Swords, right? Which is always talking about being stuck in a situation where we shouldn't be stuck, right? So this is kind of like being trapped in a way of thinking, right? And especially when it comes to how we process things spiritually, right? Maybe you have been convinced of a very certain path, and now you need to shed it. And you know what? This is like what I said. It's this big motion. It's the glacier melting, and this like water is now pushed to move. Something is really happening. Like, you have to continue this journey. There's like something like there is the Fool that is repeating for you, which is very important. Like, you need to take this, like, I mean, exit that is really showing up. Otherwise, you might be doomed. Otherwise, you might feel, oh my God, like, I mean, I had the exit, I could have escaped, and now I'm stuck in this cage with a freaking like mad tiger kind of a thing, right? So be very careful about the ideas that somebody's trying to feed you with, right? Because it is a lots of mind body connection this month that I feel it might be happening, right? And somebody here, whether this is you or somebody in your life, is going to be crying victim the whole freaking month, right? It's going to be, I cannot do anything, I'm trapped. You're looking for a refuge in your work. I would say maybe you are just not open anymore to listen to other people's ideas, because this is also your card, and it's talking about, okay, it's time to move on. So where are you overstaying your welcome, my dear Scorpio? There is like a time that you need to take accountability for your own life, and there's like a time that you need to move forward, right? There is like literally nothing else that I can say in addition to that, right? So it just like feels to me that the betrayal is really kind of like big deal over here in this month, right? Like this is kind of like feeling harsh, and I think it's connecting to this. And maybe you are the one who betrayed, but maybe like, so what I'm envisioning, what is coming to me is a picture of somebody who had problems, let's say in a relationship, right? Where the second chance has been given, but it feels like, okay, I worked on it, but this is just not working out. This is just not happening, and I don't know what to do. And at this stage is it, like, you have to call it kind of quits, right? So it's landing down on the Seven of Swords, which is kind of like talking, literally summarizing challenges and the rites of passage, right? So when it reverses, it's talking, like, this is all talking about the next step in the next direction, and this is all about, oh, I'm afraid to do that, right? So, this to me means it has to be right timing, but because it's a floating cat or the hangman here, it kind of like indicates, yeah, you know what, I'm in observing mode. As I was saying, that I see the two different types of earth, you just have to figure out, because it can be the duality inside of you, it can be that you want to take both. You just have to make the decision. You need to release yourself from past behaviors. You need to release yourself from, I don't know, limiting beliefs, anything that is like stopping you moving forward in life. You kind of like need to do the meditation. I saw something on Instagram, maybe you guys have seen. It's not necessarily 100% correct that I would agree, but I think it has really, really good points. And it says, there are only two people in life that you need to make proud of. And they are not your parents, they're not your siblings, they are not your spouses, they're not your lovers. It is like a 6-year-old you, and it is like 90-year-old you. Because 6-year-old had this big dream, and 9-year-old is looking back and saying, well, I haven't done it. Why not? So you need to think through these kind of like eyes of this 6-year-old and this like 90-year-old in order to really find out how to kind of take this next step, and if you're ready now, or if you're going to stay and suffer more. I think Dr. Phil said, what is worse than being 7 years in a bad relationship, right? So what is worse is 7 years in one day, right? So that's something like that. As I said, as a fixed sign, it's very, very hard for you to make this next step. So let's do it. So let's do this. Cancer is the very last one here for today. So I thought this is going to be more time efficient, but it's actually not, because I am taking my time, and that I don't like to just drop the card and off you go kind of a thing. But let's do it. So Cancer. Hello, Jaspi girl. She's developing her personality. She's like not all kind of like vibrant and spectacular like Onyx is all over. He wants big hugs. He's very, very affectionate. But she's coming around now, and she purrs. She lies down on me at night, and she's very sweet and very, very, very smart as well. So kind of like a different type of personality. So there you go. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, Barbie. She's my positive dynamo. So we have the Two of Wands reversed. We have the Empress reversed. Like, isn't this weird? Like 78 cards, I think. And that we keep getting repetitions. It's so freaking bizarre, isn't it? So we have Two of Wands. We have the Empress. We have Seven of Wands, Ten of Wands. Wands. And then we have a Four of Cups. The Empress is earth and air. I want to get one more. I feel I need to get one more, and this one wants to come out, and there it is once. So for you, Cancer, first of all, overall, don't forget to look for entire water read, because that is really part of your reading as well. So we have one major arcana, and Earth, the Empress. So what is really typical for Cancer women? I always find that Cancer women are extremely voluptuous, but they also tend to, in a medical way, have issues with their breasts, and they have issues with their periods, and that can be really, really painful and very, very long, right? And this is like now jumping on top of Queen of Cups. I feel something like that might be an issue, or ovaries issue. Some kind of like a female issues definitely would be the case over here. So I don't know why. You know that I don't read health. It's just kind of weird because I'm not a doctor, right? Well, not a medical doctor, but this is kind of like that came to me first, and I just wanted to communicate. But this can be interpreted differently because here we see this defending your turf, and here we see fighting for this turf, right? And then like it almost like looks to me like did we put too much on our plate, and now we don't want to admit it is too much. Kind of like I want it, I want it, I want it, and then you just cannot finish it, right? So when like the two of wands is reversed and he's like planning this life, but there's like somebody poking at him all the time and like everything is like going off. When I started this reading today, I had to kind of like go up and down with the camera and make it, and I immediately knew that the entire month is going to go like that, up and down, left and right, and that's kind of like happening with you as well. But we all are pushing ahead. We all are having these really good quality choices that we can do. So when Empress reverses, that sometimes suggests a loss of personal power, with kind of like putting emphasis on personal needs, right? And there's like the big fight and big defense of this of that, right? You're feeling very challenged because it almost like feels like this is the harsh person with the harsh words. This is freaking like a nightmare that you have yourself, wondering how to move it ahead. And now this, right? So it's just like saying, there is like something that is maybe bottled up inside. And this Queen of Cups, it could be that nice friend that you have who's just going to listen. You just need to get it out of your system. And you know what also is good to get it out of your system? What is this called? What is it called? Chat, GP, what is it called? Like this artificial intelligence thing. Um, I used to use it before. I'll tell you what it is. Chat GPT. And you can literally ask these questions that maybe you don't want to voice out to your friends and to everybody else, because Cancer is, I don't think Scorpio is secretive, but Cancer is very much closed in, right? Pisces are fluid, but this is it. Like you kind of go out, you're very fast, but you really kind of like go right back, right? So, maybe it tells me that you're a little bit dependent on other people's feelings. After all, there's like the death reversed, and there's like the devil reversed, and that you feel you're just a little leaf in a very kind of like wild river. So if you're struggling, especially for example in a relationship, the first step for you is to take some time to yourself in order to restore your energy levels, because you will feel a little bit pushed a little bit against the wall. Your energy is like, look, as I said, in the air, in fire, it's kind of like not being in your own element, right? You might also be a little bit overprotective. This can tell me that as well, of somebody who you love. And maybe this is straining your relationship, like how people say you're suffocating me, right? Or it's just like too much, right? So that's the helicopter parent or helicopter wife or helicopter husband. So who are you mothering? Because the Queen of Cups is ultimate mother of the tarot, right? So maybe somebody's telling you that you're too much over here, to back off, right? So what you need to do if this is you, you need to meditate. You need to figure out your own inner thing, what you really want and how you really want it, because it is like a clear positivity. You never see a negative card. We can reverse it. Like we can just start looking at things in different way, and that can reverse it. So for you, it is positioning. You feel very strongly that you're on the right path, even though this right path is just making you blinded. Like the 10 of wands can't talk about secrets, when somebody is not transparent, when somebody is just stuck, right? And then you just like feel bored. Was it Scorpio that I also felt the same way, that there is like some kind of like boredom with the status quo, but everything is going out, and we see this in Eight of Cups leaving, like, you know what, everything seems to be perfect, right? But I'm leaving. It's kind of weird. Like people, let's say, don't have a job, and then they get a job, and in that job they're like now having a really good pay and maybe a good title. But after a year, like, well, I want to get a different title. Like, you're just in a different kind of like frame of mind at that stage. And that is kind of like what is happening here. And then it's coming back, convincing yourself, no, I'm actually fine. So it's kind of like these kind of like two things that are starting to clash, right? And the Five of Wands is telling me that you're actually going back to that place where you once, where you're trying to figure out what is important for you. It's kind of like talking about the direction, which is really important, right? So this is also over the floating cat, and it's kind of like you don't like status quo. For you, things need to be different. For you, you need to move forward. It is really the key how you wanna live your life. So voila, we finished two major elements today. So I hope that this format can actually be a little bit different, because I just also get bored and kind of like want to do things differently as well. And now we have some winners. Oh, hello, Lynn. I was just thinking about you. Where is our beautiful French woman? So let's put this here. Chat GPT. Did anybody use it here? How did you guys find it? I only did a demo, but I'm kind of intimidated that something else would write better than me, but it is what it is, right? So I think I did something for tarot. Oh yeah, I did something. I think I emailed it to myself. This is the first thing that I did. I believe I asked something about tarot, and I'll tell you if I find it. If I actually ever note it down. Oh yes, I found it. So this is what it says to me. I asked, what is tarot? And this is what it says to me. Tarot is a tool for spiritual and psychological exploration, not a predictive or divinatory tool. It is up to the individual to decide whether they find value in exploring their subconscious mind through tarot or not. I think that was like really interesting summary as well. So we are doing the winners right now. Your cat is right. So winners, I'm going to take this deck. So I'm starting with Barbie. Let's do that. So let's do these guys somewhere. I'm going to have a whole bunch of these little papers everywhere. Barbie, Lorna, Kelsey also, ECAT. Kylie, what did you miss? What do you mean, what did you miss? So Barbie, we have the sun reversed. There's like some kind of like a pleasure in the air for you. There is like a comfort. Maybe there is a partner. I see a male here, younger male, that I'm seeing here. It feels comfortable and it feels that things are really happening, right? And the sun is also success of some sort. It's not like let's scream from the rooftop success, but it's something that makes you feel very comfortable, right? Which I thought we saw it in a Libra reading as well. Let me just get another card to clarify this for you. And there's like, yeah, like, I mean, there is like some positioning, there is like some planning that is happening, right? So Two of Wands is like, in which direction do I really want to go? There's this one, there's this one. What kind of like world I want for myself? What kind of world I want to live in? And that is really going to be important to you in the upcoming. And look at this, like 19, it's like 1 and 9 is 10, so it's 1 and 0, 1, and this one is 2, so something is ramping up. It's still a seed. You know, when you put a seed in the soil, nothing seems to be happening for a bit, and then it comes out. So this is the situation. This is a seeding situation. So be aware of that, that if you're looking for results and you don't see them, they are on their way. This is really, really happening. Okay. So I have Lorna next. I have Lorna. And Lorna, you're already getting 2 cards. Ooh, Lorna. You're getting Ace of Pentacles and you're getting 7 of Wands. So Ace of Pentacles means you can now start something that is a long-term process and something that is really, really important to you, right? Ace of Pentacles is one of my favorite aces because it's not something like Ace of Cups is like somebody winks at you in a store. And it's a really nice moment, but it's very passing, fleeting, right? Where this is like, let's build something that is going to last 20 years. It's a dedication of some sort. So something is projected for you to start, something that is maybe slower and more methodical, and something that you're going to defend with your own body, with your own life, something that is that important. So that is what I think you're getting as a message, right? And that could be a foundation of something, that could be building something. I don't know why the picture of the house is flashing before my head, before my eyes. I'm just like seeing a structure and sort of like a little bit off, and not even a small one, but it's a bigger house, and almost looks a little bit like a colonial, if you wish. So I don't know how this relates, but there that can suggest tradition of some sort as well. So Barbie, we are only going with a first one, but that's okay. Since Barbie calls it, I have to respect it because Barbie says that way, and it is this way, right? So, ECAT. Kelsey, where is the Kelsey? Kelsey got it as well. Kelsey, Kelsey, going next, Kelsey. So we have the Six of Pentacles. Oh, Kylie got air as well. Okay, so sorry, Kylie. You're going to get it as well. I put Kelsey. So Kelsey, I see Six of Pentacles, and then I have another six. So clearly, sixes are about balance. Sixes are about kind of like a comfort, right? So there is like something really happening over here. Maybe there's a little bit of nostalgia. You're like really trying to create this balance in your life, and kind of like there is a little bit of assessment of some kind of like past relationship, sort of like, is there a sufficient give and take? And it looks like it is, but still there is like something that it feels like a little melancholic. You're like remembering things. Oh, things were this way. There is a little bit of that happening, where you just transport yourself in a different place and different time. But at the same time, like, you have a very strong head on your shoulders, and you're saying to yourself, you know what, everything works. I'm in a situation where I can benefit others. And this could be also you being able to give, but also you demanding to receive. So both of them are very important. So there you go. Yeah, guys, kiss Barbie for this. That's when Barbie says something, she's running the show. I am doing this. Nobody else does the reading for me, but Barbie does the floor. So there you go. So, oh, Jenny, which color are you dang into? So now Barbie said, who is now? What did she say? I have here ECAT next. Okay, I think Andy. ECAT as well. I think she was first. ECAT, electric cat. So you have Four of Cups and the Hierophant. Now that's really interesting, ECAT, because Four of Cups, it's certain level of boredom. So is it that you're doing something that you used to like and now you don't like it anymore, right? Is it that, because this is like that card where we don't know what to do with ourselves. We just waste time and we are not being productive. And it's like not that even wanting to be productive, but overall it feels like, the time is slipping through my hands, right? Almost like you're dedicating yourself to maybe some process, some chores. I don't know if you're like visiting church. Hierophant has so many different roles. So that can be a spiritual person. It could be, a priest, for example, but it could be a boss. It could be also our moral conduct of some sort, that we are being guided with what is right, kind of thing, right? So this is earth and this is water. So they actually do really jive really well together. So I really think that you need to get yourself out of some kind of like, I don't know, downturn or funk. This is not necessarily funk, but it's just boredom. It's somebody who needs to look around and take anything that is offered versus waiting for something. But it can be interpreted, you know what, I don't want to settle for anything. And that's okay too, but then in the meantime, what are you doing, right? When people don't want to date person unless this is the one, in the meantime, they're alone and they're like creating that very negative energy around them, which ultimately prevents them of actually meeting that special person. So this is really where this kicks in. So maybe you need the process, maybe you need kind of like that North Star to guide you and move forward. So that is really interesting. So there you go. And then we have Andy, right? Anybody else? Barbie after that? Barbie is the boss. That's right. She is. Okay, Andy. No, Kylie didn't get it. Sorry, let's do Kylie. Kylie. You know, Kylie is like what, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and she's just doing this for us to be here. I told her that we miss her, so it's so good to have her there. Kylie. Kylie. There's like 7 of Pentacles, Kylie. And the Devil. Kylie, have you been overspending stuff? She has a little aquarium at home, and I bet you spent so much money on her birthday. I saw this beautiful picture that now like you're like beating yourself over it, like it's the paying the bills time. Because the Devil is just pushing us in a situation that we actually are not ready and we cannot do it. And also there are Pentacles. I know that she's Sagittarius, right? So this can actually be kind of like weird. 7 of Pentacles is like about putting all your ducks in the row and making sure things are growing. But it almost like feels like somebody pulled a rug under our feet, and for that reason it's not really pushing it ahead. And the Devil goes, no, don't worry, things are just fine, it's going to really work out. So be very careful of this Devil, because it's always a temptation, unless you know it's some really spicy time with somebody in the sack, and then why not? If you're hungry, eat, kind of a thing, right? So, but be careful otherwise, because the Devil can push us into situations that we feel sorry for ourselves, that we feel controlled, that we feel we just cannot go out. Can you see the shadow? That is a Safi shadow in the window. That's freaking awesome. She's coming through. So, happy birthday to Safi. No, she just moved on the other side to sleeping. Kylie, be careful. The Devil is warning from spending, from saying something, or somebody controlling you, so just be alert for that. Already we have E-Cat, finally, a natural blonde. Oh, Sunshine Girl. Oh my gosh, so you have golden brown. Isn't this the nicest one? Like blonde doesn't look good on me at all. I have like really expressive eyes that are kind of green, blue mostly. And when I have blonde, it just doesn't look great. For some reason, it's just like you see hair, and then you also realize that hair is a natural, right? So, E-Cat. What do, no, is it E-Cat? Why am I saying E-Cat? No, that will be Andy. Okay, so E-Cat, this was like for you. I was thinking about you. So this is also kind of 2 things that I want to add. So I see the spirits came. So this is talking about telling you that you need to be more grateful for things that are happening in your life. And like, this is literally the message from the other side that I have, because this is about facing death and winning and staying on this side. And this is like certain kind of like people who really have emotional connection with you. And I don't feel they're here on this planet and this side. I feel that they are your ancestors who have passed on, and they are telling you like there's like something else they want to see. So Andy, okay, Andy, oh, Andy, this one jammed. Ooh, Andy, you have a Scorpio ascendant, if I remember right. I went to dye my hair blue or pink. So I keep telling you this. You see, this is kind of like one of those, I want, and then you never do it, right? Because I figured before I do the disaster, let me just buy, you know, a wig and try it, or just go in a salon and try it. So, Andy, Judgment. This is a karma card, and it's a 2, right? It's 20, and this one is 2. So you have both in the same flavor if you wish, right? So Judgment is always, when it's upright, talking that you're reaching the point in your life, and that could be that Scorpio date as well, where things are getting resolved, things are being accomplished, you're getting a benefit of a doubt, you're getting the green light from the universe, you are proceeding. And you're proceeding actually with caution, I really have to say here, because like 2 of Wands is like the careful planning. What do I want and how want I do it? But it's also like really intrigued. Wands are fiery, right? So Wands are this spark that is really happening. So there's like something really going on, and something is predicted to be very positive. So that is going to be very enjoyable thing moving forward. So there you go. Alrighty, so have I forgotten anybody, Barbie? Please tell me, or anybody raise your hand if I haven't do it for you, so I'll see it if ever. I'll send you a picture. Okay, already. That will be interesting. So, I always wanted blue eyes. There you go. Get yourself blue contact lenses, and you'll see it's like not that important. Safi has the most gorgeous blue eyes of anything that I've seen. Completely, almost like I have it like a lake, right? And she has it like the sky. So it's completely almost different blue. So, guys, me, Jenny, did you win? Did Barbie say yes? Okay, well, let's do Jenny. Let's do Jenny. Jenny, the cards came through. Ooh, you're also getting a karma card, Justice, and you're getting a Knight of Swords reverse. So Justice means, again, karma card, again, being positive, again, something is being resolved, kind of a thing, right? So, but the Knight of Swords is somebody who is very combative, somebody who puts the gas, like pedal to the metal, kind of like as they say, and he doesn't care, or she doesn't care that, you know, the road is curvy, the road is slippery, and you are completely freaking freaked out. It almost looks like to me that there's like another adventure in your life that is going to start rapidly and quickly. It's going to feel like a disaster. It's going to feel like that somebody wants to basically destroy you, or you're going to maybe yourself feel a little bit destructive, but it's going to be just a ridiculous burst of energy in your bones, and you're going to be jumping and enjoying it. The Justice is really kind of like you're getting what you need. So what you're getting, if you're getting that, it is like something that is transporting you to the place where you need to be. So that is very, very important, kind of like for you know, and it's kind of good. So don't be very afraid, but buckle up and be prepared for it. So there you go. So, oh, they look wild. That's, yeah, but like these contacts look a little bit unnatural, right? I think they have the more expensive ones, because I wanted to try with a different color as well, just to see how it would be. So there we go. I think Lynn, Lynn, are you here? Yes, Lynn, Lynn. So guys, what do you think about this new format? It's still longer, you know, that I'm trying to avoid is like 2-hour readings, because if I do 2 hours and I'm doing to only 2 weeks, and then we can just do the monthlies. But I'll see, maybe I get better as I go on. Oh boy, Jenny. Lynn, sugar comes last. And Creative Guru, I'll do something for you, just don't run away yet. Don't run away. So Lynn, look at that, it came through so much. So you're getting strength, you're getting 7 of Wands, you're getting another 7 of Swords, you're getting Queen of Rods, and you're getting Knight of Cups. So Lynn, you want stability. This is you. You're a Leo, right? And this is also very important, that is telling you that there's like some kind of like time of analysis, of defense. You're kind of like guarding things. Maybe you have another woman in your life. This is also Leo. This could be you. This could be your shadow side. Maybe you're in a relationship. Maybe this is your relationship that is showing that is not really it doesn't have good roots right now, because either you're not being able to be yourself, or somebody's wooing you, and it's just creating imbalance of some sort. Or maybe you are doing that because there have been situation in the past where you have been hurt, and now you need this person to prove something to you, but it's not this person fault in the first place, and it just is going to get it out of balance. And this is why it's calling for you to really think through this whole month, and whole week, and kind of like really see how fair you are, because this can be a little bit of a drama queen. So Leos can be drama queens, and I'm just saying kind of a thing. Okay, Creative Guru, you're the last one. Yeah, Barbie is awesome with freaking her icons. I just don't know how she does it, but I'm trying to find the same thing, and it's like never that great. So, Creative Guru, ooh, you're getting something. So you're getting a 9 of Pentacles, you're getting King of Rods, and you are getting this 3 of Hearts, 3 of Swords reversed. still a little bit tired. Like, I don't know, it looks like to me that you're single, but you're kind of like really tired of kind of like circling in the same kind of like thing. There is somebody coming through for you. King of Rods is somebody monogamous and generous and supportive, somebody who does stuff. So, open invitation, that could be Valentine's invitation. I don't think it's going to go very far, you know, like, but this King of Rods is like upright, and this is what is a little bit confusing for me. So, who is here brokenhearted? Is it you that is brokenhearted, and this is why this is not happening? Or this person is pushing some buttons and you're realizing maybe you're not ready. Something like that is happening here. But nonetheless, even if it feels this way, I would still advise taking a chance, because whenever kings show up, this shows like, you know, like it's a call. You need to kind of do something. Try to kind of like take this opportunity. When the king is up, when it's down, you want to go and run in the opposite direction. So I still think it will be maybe something good to give it a try. I think this person is actually probably in the creative field as well. Um, let's see, lots of yellow. It's a lots of energy around this person. It could be somebody with a really, really big shoulders as well. So hopefully this helps, right? There you go. So that's it. So guys, I hope you all have a beautiful week. I have to put some cream on my face and dressed up and go to my garage and turn off that stupid flashing lights. It was just weird. I think the whole neighborhood thought that I'm calling aliens or something. It was just like SOS, like it was going so rapidly. It was so freaking weird. But other than that, I'm just locked in doing nothing, and I have a French class coming up soon. Love you all. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for being here with me and kind of like for keeping us all company. It's such a great way to start it. And I, guys, will see you very, very soon. Next Saturday, the same time, the same place. All the best. I love you, and have a wonderful, wonderful week for yourself. All the best.